Hello everyone. So today our topic is movement of substances. It's an easy topic in O level CIE 5090. But once you have the grasp of the concept, you can easily solve any question related to this topic. So let's start. So the first thing a person needs to know when he talks about moving substances is a concentration gradient. So concentration gradient is the difference in concentration between two regions. As you can see over here, on the left side, where my cursor is, there are more particles in the purple particles. There are more purple particles on the left side as compared to the right side. The the thing in between those particles is a membrane, so we ignore it for now. On the left side, there are more particles present than compared to the right side. So we will say that the left side has a higher concentration gradient, and the right side has a lower concentration gradient. So diffusion is totally related to the concentration gradient here. So diffusion is the net movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration down a concentration gradient. So in diffusion, particles move from a region where they're in low concentration. Like if you take example from here, so on the right side there the particles are in a lower concentration. So and on the left side the particles are in higher concentration. So in diffusion the particles move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So over here the particles will move from the left side to the right side, as the left side has a higher concentration of particles compared to the right side. So when the particles will move towards the right side, they will move along the down a concentration gradient. The rule of concentration gradient is that the particles of higher concentration will move to the region of lower concentration. So if the movement of particles obeys the rule of concentration gradient, it means that it moves down the concentration gradient. So the definition of diffusion would be it is the net movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration down a concentration gradient. Now, as you can see over here in the first beaker, a person adds dye molecule which is in red color into some water. So with time you can see that the red dye molecules spread and spread until they are equally distributed in the beaker. So diffusion occurs to make the environment stable, or to equal the ratio of particles in the air. If you, for example, if you spray a perfume in the air, so you'll have at the start the smell would be, you know, you will smell it more, but as the time goes on, the smell will get lower and lower and lower until at some point the smell will completely vanish. It's because the particles move away from you in the air. As you know, the universe, our air is very vast, so it will diffuse in the air and move here and there and spread equally. So you will not smell the perfume anymore. So the next thing we need, but I forgot something to tell. Now there are some factors that affect the rate of diffusion. Now, if the concentration gradient is steeper, which means that, for example, if over here, if on the left side we'll assume that there are 10 purple particles, and on the right side there are 4 purple particles. So the concentration gradient is not that steep. But for example, if on the left side there were 100 purple molecules, but on the right side particles, but on the right side there are only 4 purple particles, so the concentration gradient would be much steeper. So if the concentration gradient is steeper, the rate of diffusion would be faster. And as you all know that these particles over here have kinetic energy inside them, so if the temperature is increased, the speed of particles will also increase, and they'll move faster and diffuse faster. And the size of particles also affect the diffusion, as large molecules diffuse slowly, but the small molecules diffuse faster. And the surface area of particles also affect the rate, as as more surface areas, if there is more surface area present, so the diffusion rate would be faster. But if there is less surface area available, so the diffusion rate would be lower. Now next thing we need to learn is what is water potential. So water potential is the difference in concentration of solute between two regions of water. So basically, water potential is a difference in the water molecules on both sides. So as you can see on the left side, there are more water molecules present as there are no and you can call these purple molecules. On the right side, four purple molecules are present, which means that the concentration of water molecule on the right side is lower than that of the on the left side. So we will say that the left side has higher water potential as compared to the right side, as they have more more concentration of water molecules present. So water potential is related to osmosis. Osmosis is the net movement of water molecules from a solution of high water potential to a solution of lower water potential through a partially permeable membrane. This definition is same as the definition of diffusion, but there are few changes in this. As instead of the word concentration gradient, the word potential is used, and there is one addition, which is that this osmosis only occurs through a partially permeable membrane. So as you can see over here in this beaker, there are solute molecules. There are red solute molecules on the left side, less solute molecules on the left side compared to on the right side, which means that water on the left, solid molecules on the left side is in lower concentration compared to that on the right side. So uh, here on the left side, which if the solute molecules are in lower concentration, it means that water molecules are in higher concentration. So on vice versa on the right side, if solute molecules are in higher concentration, which it would mean that water molecules are in lower concentration. So the definition of osmosis says that water molecules move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So at this point, on the left side there is a higher concentration of water molecules, and on the right side there is a lower concentration of water molecules. So the water molecule will move from the left side to the right side to create an equilibrium, due to which the level of solution on the right side would rise, and on the left side the level of solution would fall. And some examples of osmosis are that plants root hair cells absorb water through the process of osmosis. Osmosis occurs inside the human body as well. And now let's move on to our types of solutions. So our first type of solution is the hypertonic solution. It is a solution with which is a high water potential, which means if you place a cell inside a hypertonic solution, if you place a cell inside a hypertonic solution, the cell will absorb water, and it will, if it's a plant cell, it will use a state of trigger, or it will we'll study that further on. Currently you just need to know, if a cell is placed in a hypertonic solution, the cell will absorb water and the cell will expand. So yeah, and next there is the second type of solution is hypertonic solution, which is a solution with lower water potential. If you place a cell in hypertonic solution, the water from inside the cell would move out from the cell through by the process of osmosis, due to which the size of the cell will shrink, the cell will start to shrink. The third type of solution is isotonic solution. It is a solution in which cells are in osmotic equilibrium. If you place a cell in a isotonic solution, there will be no change inside the cell, as the in the concentration of isotonic solution would be the same as the concentration of the cell, so no change would take place. Now in hypertonic solution, in both of these solutions, the change occurs through the process of osmosis. Now let's study osmosis in plant cells. If a plant cell is placed in a hypertonic solution, it will become turgid and fully turgid. So if you place a plant cell in a hypertonic solution, as we all know, hypertonic solution has a high water potential. So we learned that water moves from high water potential to a lower water potential. So it would mean that plant cell would have a lower water potential. So a plant cell would absorb water from the hypertonic solution and expand and expand and expand. As you can see here in the diagram, the plant cell absorbs water. In this, the first one, plant cell absorbs water, and the sap vacuole of the plant cell expands until it touches the cell membrane, and the cell membrane pushes against the cell wall, due to which we will say that the cell is turgid. Now this state of cell is called a turgid state. The turgid state helps the plant helps the plants to get stable and to stand firm. If plant cell lose the turgid state, so the plant will wilt and bend down. Now, if a plant cell is placed in hypertonic solution, it will become flaccid and then get plasmolized. So, if hypertonic solution has a lower water potential. Now, as we have studied, osmosis occurs from a region of high water potential to a region of lower water potential. So, water from inside the cell will move out to the solution, and plant cell will lose water, due to which, as you can see here, the sap vacuole will shrink, and keep on shrinking until the plant cell lose its seat of trigger and is no longer uh, turgid and able to support the plant. So we say that plant cell has become flaccid. Then plant cell would lose more water until the cytoplasm leaves off the cell membrane. Now the cytoplasm is not no more in contact with the cell membrane, and then we say the plant cell is plasmolized. The next topic is active transport. So this is a completely different topic. Uh, so in the process of active transport, it is a passive. First of all, we should know that this is a passive process. A diffusion osmosis are both passive process, because as they happen because of the kinetic energy of the molecules. But active transport does not require any energy from the molecules. Now we read the definition. Active transport is the movement of substances from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration against the concentration gradient with the help of energy. Now we have studied that molecules move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. But in the case of active transport, it's the opposite. The molecules move from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration. Now, how does this process happen? So, to reverse a reaction or to reverse a process, we need energy and in large amount. So, our cells go through the process of respiration. In that respiration, cells produce energy, which which is used for the process of active transport. So active transport occurs due to the energy produced by the cell by the process of respiration. So that energy is used for the cells to carry out the process of active transport, in which the cells absorb water, or any molecule which is in lower concentration on the outer surface compared to the cell. For example, if plants absorb nitrates and mineral ions to the process of active transport, so minerals and nitrates are inside the plant are in higher concentration as compared to the soil. But plants do not lose their minerals and nutrients, or nitrates. They, but on the other hand, they absorb the nutrients, keep on absorbing nutrients from and nitrates from the soil. So how does this happen? This happens in the process of active transport. The plants produce energy which is used by the plant uh, to move the nitrates from the soil inside the plant against a concentration gradient. So, diffusion occurred down a concentration gradient, but active transport occurs against the concentration gradient. So that would be all for today. We'll meet in the next video, which would be on the chapter of enzymes.